So, the theory of evolution is one of the most controversial theory in the history. Now, I did this when I say controversial because there is actually no controversy over the theory of evolution. And I'm going to show you why the theory of evolution is a truth and a fact. So, let's talk about what is evolution at first. Evolution by definition is change through time. Now, this change has to be over generations. Within an individual, it is not evolution, it is called development. For example, I used to be a kid, now I am adult. This is not evolution, this is development. And one cause of evolution is natural selection. But remember this, natural selection is not the only cause of evolution. There are other forces to push the process of evolution, such as sexual selection, genetic drift, and other stuff. And evolution by natural selection is a mathematical inevitability. That means mathematically, evolution by natural selection is mathematically inevitable. So let's talk about some of the facts. So in the scientific community, there is absolutely no debate over the theory of evolution. There is no controversies to teach. And the debate about revolution is only about relative importance of different force, like what is pushing the process of evolution. For example, the shape of ear. Why does my ear look like this? Is it the result of natural selection, or is it by something else? That is the debate. And another fact is evolution is a theory and a fact. I know this sounds confusing, but let's define the term theory. What is a theory? What one or more hypotheses become once they have been verified multiple times by detached groups of researchers and accepted as true. And this is perfectly fit for the theory of evolution. It is being tested multiple times by researchers, and we have multiple evidence to prove it, and it is being accepted as true. Let me give you an example of a theory. Gravity is also a theory. So you can see what is a theory. So let's talk about some of the basic principles. Let's take a close look at the evidence of evolution. So first, let's talk about the evolution have two fundamental processes. The first one is change within a lineage. For example, the change of the evolution of dog. We all know that the ancestor of dog is wolf. Now, this change is in the lineage change. From wolf to dog is a lineage change. The other fundamental process is the formation of new lineage. For example, there used to be only one species, wolf, but now we have all kinds of dogs. For example, we have golden retrievers, we have Great Dane, we have Chihuahuas. Now, those individuals look absolutely different, and that is the formation of new lineage, the split of existing lineage, different species. The other thing is two important principles of evolution. Now, much evolutionary change was caused by natural selection, which produced the appearance of design. A lot of people think that things looks like design because they perfectly fit for the environment, but that's actually a wrong argument. It is individuals that try to adapt the environment. Therefore, it looks like it's designed for the environment, but it's actually the individual trying to adapt the environment. Also, all species share common ancestry. It is the result of split lineage from one ancestral life form. And like I said, all the dog we have today used to have one ancestor, and that is wolf. And wolf and humans and all the other species, they have one common ancestor, and we all evolved from that common ancestor. So let's talk about some of the criticisms and some of the respondings for the evolution theory. So people say that there is too much change for evolution to explain in a short time period. Let me just use the dog example one more time. dogs are formed in a few thousand years ago, roughly 10,000 years ago. And life on Earth is estimated about 3.5 billion years. Now, that's a long time, but it is hard to tell because if I say 1,000 years, that's a long time, but 3.5 billion years, that's also a long time. So let me just give you an scale. If we say 1,000 years is 1 millimeter, then 3.5 billion years is 3.5 kilometers. That is actually a long time if you compare that. So when people say there is too much change for evolution in a short time period, that is actually not a short time period, it's a long time. And other people say that there is too much complexity to explain. Um, there is no intermediate life form. For example, the single-celled form and us are very different. But the fact is, there is intermediate life forms. They do exist. For example, the single-cell creature Eugenia has an eye spot as photoreceptor, and people always say that the eye is so complicated it can't be a result for natural selection. But since a single-celled life form has an eye spot, we can say this could be the first step for modern eyes. So let me give you some of the examples of common ancestry and some of the stuffs. So from simple to complicated, the fundamental of evolution is life forms evolve from simple to complicated, and we have fossil record to confirm that. So we can find single-celled life form in very old fossils, and then we can find single-shelled life forms in ocean, and then it's the plant, and then very recently we can see human. And the other thing is, if all creatures share common ancestors, we should see transitional fossils that connect two groups to a common ancestor. And yes, we have those examples. Let's take a look at the example here. Birds and reptiles are actually share common ancestor. They are genetically close to each other. Some of the reptiles are more closely to bird than other reptiles. So therefore, that means there should be a transitional form in here. And at this point, some of it evolved to bird and the others evolved to reptiles. And yes, we did find the transitional form fossils. It is a small kind of dinosaur with feather. So that is the ancestor for birds and reptiles. And people always say that there is missing links for this thing. And there is, the thing is, people say there is missing link between birds and reptiles. So there should be a thing such as a dog or a crocodile. There should be an intermediate form such as a crocodile. But that thing doesn't exist. And the point is, there is no form connect to two modern forms together. It should be ancient to modern. So if two life forms exist right now, they cannot evolve one to another. And other people say, why isn't this still happening? Well, there are actually many incorrect assumptions with arguments, such as formations of new species means to replace the old species, and such as the trajectory of evolution, like monkey evolved to human, and other things such as where is the first cell from. So let's talk about this. For the first one, formation of new species. A new species doesn't necessarily replace the old one. It's all about adapt the environment. Which one can adapt the environment better wins. And the second one, the directory of evolution. Why isn't monkeys still turned into humans? Again, monkeys and humans are both exist right now, so they cannot evolve to another. And the third one is where is the first life form, first cell is from. And that is a very important part. In evolution, we never talk about where is the first life form from. We only talk about the process of how life evolved. So, let's talk about why is this thing so controversial. Now, evolution by natural selection is a part of science. Evolution is made of naturalism and materialism. Naturalism believes that only way to understand the world is through science. Materialisms believe that the entire universe is matter, and all the other stuff, such as mind and free will, is a result of physical laws. Therefore, like all science, evolution is naturalistic materialism. And that is the controversy. It's actually not, people don't believe this scientific theory. It's the clash of idealism and materialism. People can, people with who is idealist can't stand the value being changed, and that is why this theory is so controversial for a lot of people. And if we take a step back at evolution, and we take a look at this theory scientifically and objectively, there is actually no controversy. It's just a scientific theory, and that's all. So to sum up, this is just a scientific theory, and since we have all kinds of fossil record and all kinds of genetic evidence to prove it, I can say evolution, it is a fact and a truth. Thank you.